Okay, nasai minasan. Today we want to talk about Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger episode 14. This is a really well executed episode. I'm not saying that this is a perfect episode because it is not a perfect episode, but based on the perspective of storytelling and other stuff, this episode is really well done. And I just want to comment on how they actually uses everything that they have set up over the past few episodes to this episode. Okay, they set up that Himeno's parent was being killed during the fury of the gods, and she was being forced to be the queen of Ishabana since a very young age. And right now she is finally having another hint on the potential killer for the parents, so she is acting just very similar to a human being, and that is something that I really love about the story writing here. They are not acting very weirdly, they are acting just like how we actually predict the character would actually act. When we actually saw the cicada sugar like spinning around and Himeno actually saw the cicada sugar, all of us would actually expect Himeno to act in this manner. We actually expected her to be angry, and she actually delivers that. So from my perspective, the way the director actually, or should I say the writers write the story, makes perfect sense. Okay, so the reason why I actually press this, even though it is kind of like like isn't that how story was and all those stuff, let me tell you, sometimes they don't actually do it like that. Okay, sometimes they're gonna like really mess with your expectation, and when the expectation is not met, that is when we actually get disappointed, something like that. Okay, but with that being said, something that they actually talk about, especially what Rita actually talks about, she says something like that is what happened to most of the kings in the war that they are in right now. Like most of the king are actually forced to take up the role of leadership after the incident of the fury of the gods. So what happened to the the OG king or queen of Gokhan before Rita take over, who was supposed to be the original king or the original queen, something like that. And I actually has a feeling that like maybe Morophonia was supposed to be the legitimate heir to Gokhan, because if you really think about it, Morophonia name is I would assume that her name actually came from the word morpho, and morpho is actually a type of butterfly, and the Gokhan sugar is actually a butterfly. The sugar that Rita used is a butterfly itself. So it actually makes me wonder whether or not Morophonia was supposed to be the kind of like the true heir to Gokhan, but suddenly out of nowhere, like Rita actually appears, and she was also a kind of like a what do I say, like maybe like a criminal, something like that, or maybe like she is kind of like a daughter to a criminal, something like that. We are not sure what is the origin story of Rita. Hopefully we're gonna see more like character development for Rita in the future, because right now what we see of Rita, we are already in love with her character. But I believe if we actually get to know a little bit more of her character, we are gonna fall in love with her even more, especially when we learn kind of like the sad origin story of Rita. Okay, but with that being said, let us talk about the villain in this episode, because this episode we actually get to see a Bugnarak that is not actually insect based. Okay, I don't think I would say this is not actually the first time we see a non-insect based Bugnarak, but because we already see the prime minister. The prime minister is not actually based out of kind of like a insect looking thing, but he actually looks really unique. It almost looks kind of like alien-y, something like that. So at first when I look at the next episode preview, which is the episode preview for episode 14, when I actually saw the monster of the week for episode 14, I was like so curious, like why does this Bugnarak actually look so different from what I expect it to actually be. Okay, but this is a really interesting way to tell the story, because if we really think about it, we don't really understand what actually is a Bugnarak. So showing a different type of Bugnarak in front of us right now, and this Bugnarak seems to be really old, and seems to be the one that actually teaches the Dazanara the way of the martial arts, the hand-to-hand combat stuff. So it really made me wonder, like, where does all this Bugnarak actually come from? And it almost seems like this guy, this Bugnarak guy, this old dude, he says something about human, like he actually praised human, like a human has something that we don't actually have, which is mercy, something like that. So they kind of like understand that in the context of the Bugnarak, there is not much of the kind of like a mercy tradition or a culture there. And it really makes me wonder, how the hell did Jeremy's mom like fall in love with a human king, something like that? It's because it almost seems like they are trying to show that all the Bugnarak are kind of like, I'm not sure what is the proper word here, but a kamikaze fighter, something like that. Because if you read, like, most of them are kamikaze fighter, man. Like they go out to battle, and they are just there to die, man. They are not coming back. If they are in the battle, they are ready to die. They're kind of like a suicide bomber, something like that, if you really think about it. But I mean, like, I don't want to say too much of those words, because we do not know what YouTube is gonna flag me for if I say all those stuff, because I'm just making kind of like a reference here. And maybe kind of like, even when we look at that Bugnarak that actually escaped, the Bugnarak that actually helped Jeremy to escape from Himeno, that guy was being condemned for not actually dying on the battlefield itself. So it kind of like, it might be actually showing us, like, what if the bigger picture here, the story that Ohsama Sentai is trying to tell, is the story of the new war, the war after the World War II and the war before the World War II, something like that. I felt like there is a possibility that this is how the writer actually have in mind when they're actually writing the story, to kind of like bring the past and the future together. They're trying to mix in together, like find the balance or something like that. We are not sure what is the message that the writer want to send through the show itself, but that is just a walking theory that I have. So feel free to leave your comment, leave your thought in the comment section below, because I really believe, like, if we actually have a conversation with everyone, we are definitely, we can learn a lot. Okay, we can learn a lot of things. But with that being said, let me move on to the most interesting thing that we want to talk about, and that is the anime of me and Moffun, or Moffun and me. Okay, so apparently that anime was being created for Himeno itself. So who actually took the initiative to do this for Himeno? Okay, this is really touching. Like, all this while we actually get to see kind of like Himeno is the one that is taking care of the country and all those stuff, but secretly the people is trying to take care of Himeno since she was just a little kid when she ascended to the throne itself. Okay, so that is something really interesting, and I really did not expect the anime that helped Himeno through her crown is also the favorite anime that Rita loved to watch. Okay, so that is really amazing. But with that being said, we want to talk about the fight scene in this episode. We get a lot of fight scene, and some of them can be improved upon, but some of them looks absolutely amazing. Okay, I have to say, like the Zod scene, like, by not using a lot of like real mecha suit, it actually opened up quite a lot of doors for really amazing action. Like most of the scene we get to see here about the Megazord are all CG. Okay, so if you're not kind of like used to the idea of a CG Zod itself, I really felt like you're gonna have a tough time watching this. But I don't really care. Okay, I don't really care. I actually really love the CG even though it is not perfect. But I have to say, man, in the fight scene today, I think they played the song of the Moffun anime, and honestly, when I watched that fight scene, I felt like I'm watching a Maho Shoujo anime. Like they are just flying left and right, like just shouting like cute girl stuff, and that is really insane. Okay, for a Super Sentai series to use such a cute and bubbly like song as the theme, as the kind of the battle theme of the episode. Like, what is going on? But another thing that I really love in this episode is the girl that actually pretended not to be able to walk. I think it's around episode 2 or 3, actually makes a return in this episode. Like after 11 episode, the girl returns, man. Like the girl returns in this episode to help Himeno, something like that, because Himeno helped her in episode 3. So that is something that I really love. They actually bring back a character that we know and we actually kind of like connected before. So showing her in this episode helping Himeno through her anger, and even I felt like damn, like the way they write Gira as a character is really amazing. Like most of the time he is just dumb, an idiot and all that stuff, but when it comes to the serious thing, he is straight to the point. He is sharp as a knife, okay, because he say the thing that actually wakes Himeno up. He says that have you look at yourself, are you there, do you dare to show your face to your people right now, because you look freaking ugly. Man, like when Gira said that, I was like, oh man, this guy is roasting Himeno left and right, and he's telling the truth, man. Like he is telling the truth, because like you can look as beautiful as ever, but if your heart is ugly, at the end of the day you are just an ugly bastard. Okay, so like there's a saying that I think like my friend used to say is like you can be ugly, but don't be ugly on the inside, something like that. So that is something that I actually really hold true. I wouldn't say I hold it close to my heart, but that is kind of like a subconscious thought that I will always make. Like, okay, like I might not be handsome, I might not be the most good looking guy, but I don't need to be an asshole as well. Okay, choose to be a good guy, just like how Jeremy choose to be an asshole in the beginning of the episode. Like he doesn't actually read between the lines. He doesn't understand how important this thing actually is to him, and he is like joking around, like he is like ha, like read between the lines, yeah, yo, something like that. So that actually causes Himeno to go so angry that she actually single-handedly destroyed Jeremy. So this will actually means that if you really think about it, like in the previous episode, I'm going all over the place, but I just want to talk about this. Is like Jeremy himself, when he is angry, he is able to defeat all of the Rangers all by himself, because not because he is OP, okay, not because he's OP, but it is because the rest of the Ranger is not taking him seriously at all. Like they kind of like, even like Yanma, like he realized that, hey, this oh man, like I make him angry, like, and that is why he's attacking. Like he got even more angry when he saw the human and Bugnarak are still fighting with one another, something like that. So all of these things, I think they did I don't know, man. Like this is part of the episode where I really felt like it is not as perfect as kind of like, as I would like it to be, because like the rest of the Ranger has no problem at all for of Jeremy just taking away their calibers, their Ohsama caliber, and just beating the shit out of them. All of them be like, chill, we are good about it, but they're focused on Himeno, like, hey, don't do this, something like that. So that is also quite interesting to actually see that none of the king actually blame Jeremy for what he did in the previous episode. Like they are not like offended that they got attacked by Jeremy, and I felt like, oh, I would actually expect like maybe like Rita would be like point the sword at Jeremy. Why do you attack us, like, or something like that? But I think they kind of like understand what Jeremy is trying to do, especially like how like he already told them like he want peace between human and Bugnarak. So kind of like is playing both sides. He's protecting both sides, something like that. So this is also really interesting. But that is all from me regarding Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger episode 14. Let me know in the comment section below if I miss anything you want to discuss, and we can discuss it in the comment section below. Let the comment flows, okay, because it is gonna be a really amazing and fun time for us to kind of like discuss Ohsama Sentai King-Ohger with one another. But if you made this far into the video, means you enjoy my content, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching it to the end. And I want to leave this word to you so that you can comment in the comment section below to let me know you actually finished the word itself. And the word today is Moffun. Okay, why Moffun? Because we got the origin story of Moffun, and everyone need a Moffun in their life. Okay, like just as someone just need a hug right now, and Moffun can be the one that hugs you. Okay, so that is all. Hope you enjoy, and we will be seeing you guys in the next one. Goodbye.